and you may lag for break.
Well, Chris Melling lagging off, and with a clean haircut there to start round 3, and a couple of new things. Chris did change his tip a couple of times here since he's been here in Leicester, and no excuses with that. He wouldn't bring that one up. He definitely needs to clean the game up for Great Britain to advance to the semifinal.
Well, with that haircut, he'll be saving money on combs.
Yes, sir.
It's a bit severe.
There you go, sir. Rack 1, Great Britain to break.
What a star, Jayson Shaw. Oozing natural talent. If he said he's best, he's dynamite. That, though, was a dry.
Yeah, we've seen a bit more success by many teams here in the quarterfinal rounds, but some teams still struggling on the break. And I wouldn't say that Great Britain's been one that struggled so much. They've made the one on the side at a high rate. But just like Great Britain talked about, they need to clean it up a little bit. You could say the same about this Spanish team. Getting through with a couple close ones. And some errors there, too, but some great play behind it. I think he should go for this cut shot. I'd say a little statement to not only the Great Britain team, but also for themselves. You got to knock these types in to win big matches.
David Alcaide, winner of the World Masters in 2 of the last 3 years. Can he master the British here?
Pretty nice speed with the cue ball there, Phil, because his straight is okay. He wouldn't have minded getting a little bit further with the cue ball, just to offer a little natural angle to pull the cue ball back off the rail for the 4, but straight is all right. You just got to keep the line on the cue ball. Probably somewhat about 2 feet of draw into this position for the 4. And this is where the rack becomes tricky. It's not getting position on the 5, but how do I get position on the 5 to make it easy to get all the way back up table for the 6? He can come around the 5 to the center of the table, but just kind of like where the cue ball is at now, that sends the cue ball towards the 7 and 8 after shooting the 5. So a little bit of issues here. That's why you're seeing some time taken by Team Spain. Oh, and a really nice effort there. And it was very important that they got on that side of the 5 somewhat. Even if he just draws back and takes a cut on the 6, that's okay. But he couldn't afford the other angle, Phil.
There's a genuine kinship, a real bond between these two. Practice partners, travelling, companions, just thoroughly good mates. And you heard David Alcaide in the pre-match interview. Winning the World Cup for Spain would be such a proud achievement.
And he got a bit steep here. David Alcaide kind of mentioning that table's getting a little jumpy off the rails, so they're going to have to manage that. Now he could soft spin this. It's kind of thin though, so the cue ball could get way up table. Oh, he decided to go around, and Boy, that's a confident shot here early in our last quarterfinal match.
Out of left field came the missed 8-ball. Come on then, shouted the Great Britain supporters. The rack presented to them. Well, well, well. Spain shaken by that. They'd done all the hard work, and then the 8-ball went astray. David Alcaide still shaking his head. And when you do that early on, Jeremy, you can really discombobulate any player.
Yeah, just like a nice finished run out would have given them all the confidence. Just as you alluded to, Phil, an easy miss after a nice opening run can really get in your head. Now, these are seasoned professionals, and David Alcaide, like you mentioned, a 2-time winner of the World Pool Masters, should be able to recover. But sometimes the pool gods don't give you the opportunity for a while to get back up there. Now, they're going to be breaking in game 2. We'll see if they break, make a ball, and get a shot.
Yeah, in just a few seconds when he's put the rack together, let's just hear the announcement of rack number 2 from our referee, John Lehman.
Rack 2. Current score is 1-0 in favor of Great Britain. Spain is breaking.
Now, if you've been listening to John all week and you think he does that with authority, well, the reason is he's a thespian of some repute, actually. He's a member of the Screen Actors Guild of America, and he's been involved in such productions as The Sopranos and Sex and the City. So a star in our midst.
Yeah, and really been a part of pool for some years now in the upper northeast area. Does a lot of work around New Jersey and New York, and then of course in what you might call the pool center of America, or it's becoming that way again, is Las Vegas. Now, an interesting shot here. He should probably go for this bank, even though the 3 is tied up. I think if he stops his ball, he could probably break out the 3-8. Oh, he decided to play safe. And not bad, actually, and he kind of rubbed the 3 open. So some nice results there. I thought he could maybe go offensive and shoot the bank and then probably shoot the 2 on the side and break the 3-8 out, but not wanting to take any chances here early. Oh, and he's let him see it. So immediately after what looks like a fine shot, Spain will most likely have the worst of this. He kind of let the 1 get away there. He wanted to hit that much thinner.
By his own admission, he was all over the place last night, Chris Melling, and that wasn't exactly auspicious. That's what you tend to do when you're not confident. Catch balls when you're playing safe too thick. That's the telltale sign.
Yeah, usually when you're struggling, it's all the way around. It can be on the break as well, kick shots. It doesn't have to be just simple potting the ball. Okay, and that's a nice shot from David after a big miss in the last game. Now the Spaniards are going to have to play some tidy position if they plan to try and run this out, that being on the 3 ball. He's kind of straight. I don't think he can cheat it a whole lot.
Attention, please.
You kind of would imagine he would just kind of draw back to the center of the table for a cut shot on the 3, maybe where they can cannon into the 5. He could punch the cue ball down, I think, and get below the 3 and play a safety or maybe a cross-side bank. Okay, he's going with a high ball. So, okay, watch out for the 6. That's got to go. Is it going to get perfect? I don't think so. And that was a big risk there. And the one thing about it, you had to make sure you cleared the 6, even if you caught too much angle on the 3. And I think he's actually gotten pretty perfect. And once again, Spain faced with a little bit of a dilemma. The 5's not too hard to make, but you really need to get on the proper side of the 6 so you don't have to involve the 8 and 9 trying to get on the 7 ball. Oh, he's elevating. Is he drawn into the edge of the 6, or is he just trying to float by it? Oh, man, I can't believe that. And I kind of agree with the type of shot. He's just got to make sure he cues it where he wants. He really flirted with that upper corner.
It's something imperceptible, but they look a little edgy to me. That, though, was pinpoint.
Yeah, I would say that was pretty close to the same as far as round 1 and 2. Don't really think I saw them get really settled, and the cue ball get away from them again. Wow, so they got to shore up the cue ball, that's for sure. And it's sitting to where I don't think you can catch 3 rails easily here. He's just going to have to go back across and leave Ruiz a little bit of a tester on the 9. Probably from above the side pocket with the cue ball. Well, it looks like he's going 3 rails. I don't understand that, but he sure did hit it well. But you can see how much he threatened that corner pocket.
This isn't in yet. Snatchability on this one. Well done, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. And so, after that ineffective safety from Chris Melling, he caught it too thick and he was made to pay. Spain are back on level terms in the early exchanges. Honours even. Seem to be absolutely crammed full of nervous energy, the Spanish, particularly Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. That's a byproduct of the fact they want this badly. They've potted 16 balls. GB have potted 2, and there's nothing to separate them on the scoreboard. That's the way 9-ball pool goes.
It certainly can be cruel, and especially if at times you're cruel
Rack
to yourself.
number 3, current score is 1-1.
Chris,
Great Britain
with
is
Great
breaking.
Britain dry breaking in the opening game. All right, that's more of it. That's more what they wanted. Several little contacts, and the 2's going to get covered up by the 8. He's made 3 on the break. So a tough rollout situation here.
Yes, when you make 3 balls on the break, you remove potential traffic. So to have a situation like this is more unlucky than otherwise.
Push out.
And this is another situation where you really doubt the rolling out
Spain,
team is going to get this back. Spain has got plenty of options as far as safety. They could cut the 2 and run the cue ball. Yeah, they could cut the 2. Kind of towards the rail here and then laying it over and running the cue ball a couple rails safe. Another option is to bank the 2 down table,
Attention, please.
a couple rails, let the cue ball carry him off, and then behind the 6-9. Kind of depends on what your flavor is. Well, I'm really surprised, first off, that Spain gave that back, and I'm secondly surprised that Jayson went for the offensive. Man, there were 2 nice safeties there, and really easy containing safeties.
He is an absolutely fantastic potter, but sometimes you have to rein yourself in.
That's right. Kind of like a horse ready to run. You have to put the blinders on them and pull on them reins sometimes. And the one thing about pool now, at this point, you have a partner that may say something to you, but normally you have to make all those decisions on your own.
Extension, please.
And I'll tell you, it looks very easy to come down the left side of the table with a little bit of left English. Speed's got to be nice. You could easily put a little right on this and come to the right side of the table where he's standing also. And that's what I would have been concerned about coming down the left, because you're mentally concerned to get by the 9. So that makes you put a little bit more on the ball. Or they could have really checked up the 4 with a little right hand English and come down that clean side of the table, that being the right side of the 6. So it's not like they're in big jeopardy. They're going to have an advantage as far as the safety, but you know as well as I do, oh my, this is like leaving straight in. Oh my, but even if he snookered him, when you let the other...
This is ragged. Unforgivable to leave the 6. Unforgivable to leave the 6.
So a lot of times these opportunities change as the match goes on. Somebody gets the early opportunities, others get the late. And now Great Britain just a few balls away from taking the lead after 3 games, and really with Spain having all the opportunities to win all 3 games.
What a clumsy attempt at a snooker from Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Didn't only get the snooker, he left the 6 ball on. Chris Melling thumped it in, and that's the reason why Great Britain leads Spain 2-1 when the scoreline might well be the other way around.
Well, I'd rather not bring that up, Phil. He beat me in the 3rd round of the winners this year in the U.S. Open. Played awfully well and continued. Watch out for the cue ball. Another dry break. A little fortunate to be so close to the 1 and no offensive play. He's really just got to edge this one and coast the cue ball. I think 1 rail behind the 5, trying to use the 8 and the 5 as a snooker.
For all of the stat nerds out there, of which I'm a fully paid up member, 99 dry breaks in the tournament now.
Yeah, we're certain to reach triple digits, and most likely this match. Yeah, I don't get too fancy here, and don't worry too much. You just edge the 1, go behind the 5. Oh, he went behind the 8. I'm really wondering why he couldn't spin it a little more and really try to get up behind the 5 ball. There was no problem with the side pocket as far as a scratch. And maybe he thought he was going to lose the one if he spun it a little bit. But if Spain can get at this one ball, you can see they can do some damage as far as the safety is concerned.
Extension, please.
I think they're debating who's gonna shoot the swerve shot. Oh, now they're going to the jump cue. Okay. Wonder why they're not liking the kick. The kick when the ball's near the rail, one rail, the top players are really, really accurate. So this tells me he's trying to bury the cue ball behind the 3-4.
For a split second there, he was worried about the one going in.